Okay, here's the part where I mounted the ESC. I did mount the ESC up on the upper chassis portion. I really wish I could have put it down lower, but it won't fit between the upper chassis plate and the battery. There's just not quite enough room there. It should be fine though where it's at. The body posts, the body mount posts actually stick up further than the ESC. Even the top of the shock tower actually sticks up further than the ESC. So unless you just like completely demolish the front end of the thing, the ESC should be relatively safe up there. The ESC is a Hobbywing Easy Run SC8, 120 amp. I'm actually fairly impressed with it. I don't have any other experience as of yet with anything else, but for $89, like I feel like I got my money's worth so far. What little bit I've had a chance to play with it, it works quite well. I did buy the $15 programming card for it, and it's got 14 or 15 different programming points on it. So there is a decent amount of programmability to it. Hobbywing provided all the wires for it. The positive and negative actually come pre-soldered on already. You do have to put your own tip on it, which I did put the Dean's connectors and waterproofed them according to Squirrel's waterproofing stuff. I really feel like I got my $89 worth. Hobbyparts.com is where you can find that. Let's see what else. The red circles again show basically how I just used the Velcro as part of my cable management. I did add a zip tie later on, which you'll see in the middle, which kind of packages everything up kind of nicely. Keeps the wires from moving around too much. Don't know what else to say about that. The motor, I don't think I've mentioned yet what I used for the motor, at least in this slideshow. Now I did mention in the thread, but if you're just watching the slideshow, I did use a tack-on 3500 kV motor, again from hobbyparts.com. I want to say I paid $34 for it, $36 for it. Pretty cheap. Most all my electronics and my batteries came from hobbyparts.com. I got the 3-cell LiPo. I want to say it was around $44 for the 3-cell. The motor, again, $34 I think. ESC $89. You can't hardly beat it. The Fly Sky, $740 for the receiver. Actually, or if you need the controller, $35. You get a controller and a receiver. I tell you, for a budget system, I'm pretty happy with this. The tack-on motors and the Gens Ace batteries and the Fly Sky controller and receivers all get fairly good reviews overall. I've read several good reviews. Not too many people have too much negative to say about them. The Hobbywing SCs get a lot of mixed reviews. So far I haven't had any problem out of this one, so hopefully it'll stay that way. But for a budget system, I can't complain. Now I do have an LST2 electric conversion planned after this, which I spared no expense there. I went with Tekin, RX8 ESC, 1550 kV motor, the hot wire system, and that's gonna be all top of the line parts, so I can get an idea. My whole goal, aside from just wanting to tinker, was I wanted to get into the electrics so I could see how both sides live. You know, I'd only done nitros up until I did this conversion, so electrics are pretty new to me. I want to see how both halves live. Well, by the same token, you know, I have two conversions planned, and I wanted to see how both sides lived there as well, the budget side and the top of the line side. I went budget on the Rusty because, let's face it, it's a Rusty. You know, I like my Rusty. Don't get me wrong, but I think Squirrel said it best. I think it was on a Cooking with Nitro episode where basically Rusty's a good entry level kit. Past that, not so much. The LST2, on the other hand, is probably my favorite kit that I own. So I chose to go top of the line on that, and then I'll get the experience of using both parts. So I can kind of see the pros and the cons and all that stuff. So quick little rundown there. I did waterproof the ESC. I wasn't able to waterproof it quite as effectively as I wanted to. I tried to use liquid tape on it. What I should have done was I should have masked off the heatsink area and the LED area, and I should have plasti-dipped the whole thing. I don't have any plasti-dip here. All I had on hand at the time was electric tape, or liquid tape rather, and I need to go get some plasti-dip because that's what I should have done with it. It's fairly waterproofed. I feel like it has a couple vulnerable spots where I couldn't get the brush, but overall, I'd say it's fairly waterproof. So hopefully, we won't have any problems there. And that's about all I can think of for this. That was a mouthful. So let's get on to the next slide. And this is just a quick picture of where I mounted the on-off switch for the ESC. It's right there on the nose of the upper chassis portion. I just used a little bit of double-sided tape and stuck that down there. I did try to waterproof this as well with the liquid tape. I actually had to peel away the portion around the switch because I couldn't push the switch far enough back and forth. The switch actually does have quite a travel distance for a switch. It actually slides quite far. So yeah, that's a little chink in the waterproofing armor, so to speak, there. But unless somebody can throw out any ideas to me, I don't know exactly how I could waterproof that part and still keep the switch working. So that's all that is. And here we're just looking at another angle of the kit after I mounted the ESC. And here is just basically another angle of the same thing, only here's where I added the zip tie. So it really makes the between the zip tie and the Velcro wire management is very nice. I feel with this particular setup. The wires do not move very much at all.